Hey guys, I'm your girl Shayna Maina, and welcome back to the Mouth of the South. Today we have two special guests. We have Miss Deanna and JaQuan, and today we are here at Miss Alice Garner's bakery, the Garner's Sweet Dreams. Make sure you go check her out. She is Georgia's best, running 2 years in a row, and she has this location off of Bel Air Road and one in the mall. She is Black owned and is a veteran of Augusta, and this is JaQuan's auntie. Yes, let's give it up for her. So how are y'all today?
Good, hot.
Good.
Hot.
It is
It's
definitely
like
hot. Let's see what's the temperature.
It got, I'm guessing 103.
Okay, let's see.
98 at lowest.
It can't be that low.
It is 99 degrees right now in Augusta, Georgia. It is hot, so find y'all some water, something to cool down.
Stay home.
Please,
Stay
at home.
No, because business will not be conducted, so no. Find y'all something safe to do.
This heat ain't it.
It ain't it, but it is summertime. It's almost fall, and you guys are coming with this project that, you know, many people like me do not know nothing about mythology, the Greek gods. So before we get into all of that, we're going to talk about the backstory, how you guys got it started, how y'all got inspired in doing acting, writing, modeling, being a star, period. Okay? So we're going to start with Miss Deanna.
Okay.
I was going to start with you first, but I'm going to start with the ladies. Miss Deanna, so how old are you?
24.
24.
24.
Are you from Augusta?
No, I'm actually from Decatur.
Period.
Yeah, y'all know Decatur, where it's great about everything.
Okay, ATM.
I'm sorry. That just pulled out a different side of me.
Okay, no, be you know, support your city, you know. So how did Elena make you an artist?
To be completely honest with you, just the idea of how much creativity is in Atlanta and how I was just always exposed to it. My parents have always been creative. My family in general they're extremely creative people, and they always used to take me to like museums and concerts, and they had me in ballet and they had me in art schools my whole life. So it's like that's all I know is the arts, acting, singing, dancing. It was just, and it just came so not naturally, I want to say, but more like fun. Like nothing felt like work. Even if I was frustrated, it was like, you know what? I'm frustrated, but I'm gonna sit here and get it. So, yeah.
So which one of the arts gravitated towards you the most? Like, what's your favorite art? Singing, dancing, modeling, which one?
It's like picking, are you gonna eat something or are you gonna drink?
Exactly. That's where I am, because it all started with dance. Like that was the very first thing I did. I will probably say dance then, because that was the very first thing I did. It holds the biggest place in my heart. But then, you know, I went to school and they was like, here, Deanna, you're gonna be a singer. And I said, oh, hold on, I kind of like this too.
Okay.
And then I went to college and they said, nah, boo, you're gonna be an actor.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, oh, hold on, maybe I like this too. So it really just kind of like, there is not one that I like over the other.
Okay.
I love them all.
You fell in love with all of them.
Yes.
Yes, you should.
And it just, I don't know, like I think about it and I just light up every time.
So let's talk about your show that you just had last night. Let's talk about The House.
Mm-hmm.
Explain to them what The House means.
So pretty much one of the other cast members, Jesus and Drag, he has a show and it's pretty much like a talent extravaganza. And Jay and I went last month, right?
Yep,
we went last month, and after he was just like, do you want to perform? Sure. Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do. And we were sitting in the car after a reading one time, and we just started, I started playing around and singing. He was like, oh, no, boo, you going to sing.
Oh.
And I said, oh, okay.
She can sing.
But mind you, I haven't sung in public for real in 4 years. So I was terrified. But it was so much. My dress kept getting stuck on my shoe. I thought I was gonna fall off the stage. And I was like, you know what? And I even told Jay, I said, look, if I fall, just let it happen.
I told her I was gonna laugh.
Just let it happen. It's part of the show. It's part of the show. Just let it happen. I won't make a scene, and if I do, it's gonna be a good one. Okay. But yeah.
So let's talk about y'all two relationship. How long have y'all known each other?
Going on 3 years now. Okay. We met on the set of First Kill. It was a Netflix show that they ran during the summer one point, and I remember like it was like 4 o'clock in the morning, walking back and forth down the set doing a funeral scene, and we was just so over it. And we had this friend, Alex. He was really that person that pushed us and was like, you know what, go for it, do it. And he was a couple of foundations that we're keeping in this project because of him is running our own stunts, making sure we're doing it to the best of our ability. We had stopped for a little bit, for about 3 years or whatever. And I was just like, you know, I just needed men trying to get the script written and get the characters built up the way they needed to be. And about it's been a year now, he got in an accident and ended up dying. So, you know, I reached out to Dee, reached out to our other friend, Alabama, and she'll tell you, like, we was just talking about it the other day. She was just like, why is he calling me? Like, I ain't talked to him in a minute. And I was just like, you know, we're finna get the show, we finna do it. And she was like, oh, okay, bet. Let me know when we start them. And it's just been rolling like that. So, you know, like they say, the snowball effect, like once you push the snow down the mountain, it just rolls.
Everything comes together.
Oh, and that's exactly what's been happening.
Okay, so before we talk about your movie that y'all are working on, let's talk about the projects you've worked on in YouTube. Like, what are some projects that were the most memorable projects of acting sets, or like, you know?
You want to go first?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it wasn't necessarily a big set. Like, you know, a lot of people they'll jump to, like, I've been on Cobra Kai, we did First Kill, we did what was the other show, Step It Up, been on things like that. But I think at the end of the day, the one that I will always go back to is actually a performing arts school here in Augusta College, Jackson Norman School of the Arts. That was the thing that raised me up in the arts, and I was like, yeah, I want to direct. Like, watching, we have our director, Ms. Carmen, just watching the things that they create and the way they help us move our dreams and go forward. I was like, yeah, I want to do that to be able to bring life to reality. So I was like, it will always be the very first one we did, Lion King. I wasn't in it, no nothing. I was just in the background helping it and run stuff. And it will still be forever one of the best times of my life just being in theater. Theater has always been that really big thing. Like we were talking about earlier, just musicals, Beetlejuice, Aladdin, like things like that. That will always be those type of performers for me.
What was your best performances you've done?
I'm sorry, I have to agree with theater.
Because it's live.
Yeah, and we in high school we did In the Heights, and that was probably the most fun I've ever had in theater. Like any type of, my gosh, the costumes, the choreography, the music, everything. We were just in love. To this day, I still sing it like I have a show tomorrow.
So you went to high school to be in arts. Okay, and your high school was? I graduated from homeschool, but the high school I went to was Josie. You know, T-Dub ran off of, I can't even think of the street, but yeah, you know, that was the school I went to. I had a lot of good teachers there that they'll tell you even now, like when I was there freshman year talking about this project building up, and it was just like, you're gonna do it. And I talked to one of my math teachers, Miss Alex, a little while back, and she was like, I told you it was coming. Like, you just had to wait, you had to believe and just work. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. So your elementary school was hosting a film for BET. It's the Christmas Party Crashers. What was that elementary school name?
Craig Houghton Elementary School. That's actually where me and you met. That was like, you know, I'm working on this project. Just kind of started talking about it.
Yeah, that's where we met at, and he was like, this is what I'm gonna do, da-da-da. But it took him a minute. It took him at first he was like, yes, this is what I'm gonna do. Then like I heard crickets, and I was like, are you still doing the project? He was like, yes, here's the script. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. But I, as a person, I wasn't ready. Cause I was like,
and I agree totally. Like, I feel like it was that moment where you think you're ready, but you're not ready yet. It's always happened this soon. Like everything always falls in place when it's time for you to do it. And it did. That's like you said, like crickets. Like,
and the next thing you know, he was like, can we do an interview? And I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. Like, you done did it already? Like, yes, like, congratulations. So let's go ahead and talk about the Battle Gods. So, director, writer, cast member. So let's talk about it. How did that project come about?
It started off, I was a really huge Power Ranger fans. It started off as a comic book. Really simple. We had 5 heroes affiliated with elements. They had a 6th Ranger they had to go find, and it evolved. And when I say evolved, I don't just mean like, oh, well, you know, we took one thing and added, like, it moved from that to an animation to live action, where I actually originally did have a cast member, which some of them are coming back later on in the series, which is definitely something to look forward to. But I was like, we was gonna get it. It was really when COVID hit, and it was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I paused again because I still felt like it wasn't there. And then the ideas kept adding, where I introduced the idea of bringing mythologies to it, until where I was like, well, why stop at one when I could take two, when I could take three, and just build. It's like creating something that hasn't been seen yet. So now we have a project that not only is going to be bringing a new world completely, but also revisiting previous worlds like Egyptian mythology, Greek mythology, Chinese mythology. Even in this first episode alone, the amount of Easter eggs you'll be able to find that ties back to other mythologies. When you look back, you be like, oh, they told us. It was sitting right there. It's different things now that we do now that we post and we show it. It was like, this is part of the show. You just don't know it yet.
So who's your favorite character in this film that's coming together? Like, talk to me. Let's get juicy. Can I know something?
Who? I don't know, 'cause, like, that's like the hardest question. Like, who is the favorite character? Because me, myself, I actually played 3 different characters. So it's a lot. Like, each one has their own thing that you will always be able to connect to, going through different journeys, different self-discovery. And then even when you think you know the hero, you think you know the villains, it's like, are they the villain? Are they the one who's wrong?
That's the best mind tricker ever. Like,
because even our main character, well, I'm not gonna say he's the main character because he shares a role with his twin sister, but the two of them, two sides of the same coin, powers are mirrors of each other. But the question really comes, who is the problem here? Who is the real one that's causing everything that's happening? And it's never who you think it is, ever. Like, even now, like, they tell you all the time, like, you bring something new, you tell us something new that they wasn't prepared for, wasn't ready for. Even when we did our last Harry, 2 weeks ago?
Yes. Oh.
I yell at her a lot.
we get it from these men. Like,
He does. Like, I will say,
so bossy.
Every time.
But she bossy too, though.
We can be bossy.
Hey, I'm not that
We can be bossy.
Okay. I'm not that bossy.
Because really, if we want to talk about it, Dawn is really the one in the wrong, from my perspective.
Okay, so we have Dawn, who's another character.
Aiden. So Dawn and Aiden are very...
So these are the twins.
No, Dawn is actually the queen of the Egyptian zone.
Okay. Are you Miss Dawn?
Yes, that's me.
Dawn.
Period.
Queen of the Egyptian
So let's
zone.
talk about your character. How do you view her?
She is a spitfire. Like, off the back, and I think, like, the very first time he ran the entire character by me, I think this was before she even had a name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he gave me the whole rundown, and I was like, Jesus Christ, she look crazy. Like, is she good? He was like, yeah, she's fine. She just has so much in her, and she doesn't know how to let it go or where to put it. And it's like, I will say, she does have her moments, like, she has her outbursts, she has her, like, she's still human, but being in that, like, royal place, I'm trying to figure out how to be human but be a royal at the same time, because I'm not actually a royal.
Yes, you are.
I am a peer, but
Amen.
that's what matters. But yeah, it's just like she has so much going on. She's a spitfire. She does not back down to anything ever. It does not matter. Like, y'all will see that part.
Oh yeah, because she don't care who you are, no matter who your position is, no matter how much more power you have. Dawn does not care. She stands on what she believes in, her people, her family, and she's lost a lot through just the first episode alone. A lot of emotions, even in the very first scene, she's going through it. And she, again, blames Aiden. Like, that's her scapegoat. She blames Aiden, puts all of them, and goes through it. But again, like, they're very, very big things. Like, nothing she goes through is small to be like, you didn't have to act like that.
Right.
Any sane person would act the way that Dawn reacts to the things that happens to her.
They just may not be as vocal as Dawn is about it.
Right.
Very, very, very local.
So you have all these other characters. So how does this Battle of Gods, like, is it like a show of, like, who's the most powerful? Like, what's the ending goal for this show?
So a really big fact is the final scene of the entire series is already written. I know exactly how it's going to end. Really, really big moments. One of the biggest things I bring up, think Endgame, but bigger. We're crossing multiverses, timelines, everything just clashes together but comes together at the same time. Where all these smaller details you think didn't matter comes out and matters later.
Right.
And so just through it, it's really just, you get to see all these different mythologies that you've seen through the history. We start like with two of the biggest, Egyptian and Greek, which I've done a lot of research on. They have a lot of similarities that you wouldn't normally pick up on until you see it and be like, oh, I've seen that before. That made sense. So we're showing all of those different aspects. And this first season is actually about two families. We have the Egyptian zone and the Greek zone. Two opposite sides of the zones, because we don't call them words, they're known as zones. So completely two opposite sides, but yet were brought together by Dawn and her husband Zeke. But they were also brought together because of the villain, or who you think is the villain, which comes off as actually her brother-in-law Ares. So we get to see Ares, where a lot of times he's depicted as just this powerful god that just throws temper tantrums and rages wars. But you see an emotional side to him where he just wants to be loved, he just wants to be seen, he just wants to be cared for.
Right.
So like again, like yes, these are gods, yes, they have all these powers, but yet they see the same things that we see. And that's why when we introduce the younger generation, we see it not as gods, but as heroes, as people that we hold to a higher standard, but also realize they go through things just as much as we do.
What was the support like of writing and creating this series like?
It was definitely a team thing. Like I tell them every day when we go into our table reads, like even the podcast, like, you know, I'm thankful that they're here. I'm thankful that they have my back, especially with Deanna, like really long time friends at this point. Like she tells us like we're family, like that's just what it is. And she's really been behind it, pushing, being in the car like, oh, well, how does this outfit look? Oh, what about this video idea? And just really working on that.
And I will say a lot of it was the very first time Jay and I met. Like he said, we were on the set of First Kill, and it was 4:00 in the morning. It was cold. We were irritated. We was like, you know what? I'm ready to go. And I don't know what it was that made him bring this up, but he was like, I can see you with gold eyes. I said, huh? I said, what you mean? He was like, nothing, don't even worry about it. And I was like, and then he started telling me about this show. And like he lit up, like a whole firecracker just exploded. I promise you, we probably missed 3 takes because we were not paying attention. And we were just sitting back there. One of the guys who was coming, he was like, so are you guys gonna, we were like, huh? Why are we gonna do what? But yeah, it was just, when Jay talks about it, he lights up. He lights up. Our friend Alex used to light up just as much as he did. And like having them two together explaining it to us. And I know it was me, it was Jamie, and we were just sitting there, and they would always talk about it. And like he said, there was no script, there was nothing. We sat at the table. You know, like old cafeteria tables? Yep. We would sit at the old little cafeteria tables in the tent for background, and he would just be leaning over the table. He'd be like, this was gonna happen, this, that, and the third. And then Alex would jump in, he'd be like, oh, don't forget this part. And you're like, okay. And like you have to support it. Like when you have somebody who dreams that big, and you have somebody who is like, this is me. I want to do this. I want to do this for other people. I want to do this for just everything. And then Alex's passing, it lit the fire under him. Like, it lit the fire under him. It lit the fire under everybody. And then having him be as, like, intense about it, it made all of us be that intense about it. And we can't, like, we'll talk to each other. We'll be like, oh, well, I feel like this is something Dawn would say. This is something he would say. This is something she would say. In the third. And it works. And to have him be so excited about it, it just makes us, he's contagious. Let's go ahead and be honest. He's a contagious person. The smile's contagious, the attitude's contagious, and he walks around with a good personality. And it just makes the whole cast like that.
And one of the biggest things I learned from Jason Norman is, even though it's my dream, it's my idea, I'm the leader, a leader means nothing if you don't have followers. If you have nothing to lead, you can't do anything. And I'm thankful Alex was that person to be that first follower to get everybody else come behind. And now that he's gone, he has really been that person that call everyone like, oh, well, let's go do this, let's go do that. And just really, really supporting us. And like I tell her all the time, I am so thankful for that.
That's good.
Just, I don't know. And can I also say he put a good cast together. Like the team that's behind the table, they put a good cast together. Because when I tell you, it'll be little not even arguments, just like little funny, little petty arguments that we'll have with each other, and we'll sit there, we'll laugh at each other for hours, and we'll lose track of time. And Jay will be like, "Guys, we need to bring it back."
Right.
And we're like, "Look, sir, you've been yelling at us all day. Stop."
No, because our last table read, I just went over there, like I just rolled up and I was just banging on the table, and they was just like, and it's just right into the scene. Now, and that's another thing, like when you have a team that works that well together, that supports that much, that I just came in there, went full character, and they just jumped in. Yeah. And for us to get a movie scene, it's definitely that team and that support system that pushes any project.
You cannot do these things alone. You need a team. Teamwork makes the what?
Dream work. You need somebody to at least sit there and be like, "Great job. You're doing great, sweetie."
So what is some advice you want your following to like remember you guys as? Like, you're a great artist, you're great entertainers, what is something that you want to leave the next generation to about you?
I don't even know if it would be technically about me per se, but like the one thing I just want everybody to know, don't give up. Like whatever it is, even if somebody's like, "Oh, that idea is way too big for you, it'll never happen." Who?
Right.
Because last time I checked, Walt Disney, he came in with a suitcase and a dream. So I got a suitcase and I surely got a dream. So
man, y'all do too. Like, keep going, keep pushing. If you can see it, if you can imagine it, if you can believe in it, do it.
Oh yeah, like they say, it don't come fast, but it comes fast. Like I said, it just takes that effort, that dedication, repeating, and being like, I want to do this, so I'm gonna go for it. Like she take like 3 years. Like when I first started, I started middle school, and I kept writing, kept going, kept building, and built it up to here. Now we have full cast. We already have people that are looking to audition again, and we really just build it from the bottom up, and like quite literally.
Let's not mention, like, there are people who, after we did a live at our last table read, and ever since then, like, people have been in our DMs and they're like, "When are the auditions? When can we audition? When can we be background? When can we do this? When can we do that?" And we're like, "Guys, just hold on.
just breathe."
And they're like, "No, give it to us now."
Right.
Wait.
Right.
They steady asking, when are character posts coming out? When do we get to see the full episode? What is the next episode? When is the next live? Just asking all of those things. So like, it's coming. It's definitely coming. Like I say, we have several series. So this one is called Elementals Battle of the Gods. But following this one, we have 2 movies. It's going to be Elementals Journey of the Underworld, and then Elementals The Monkey King Reborn. And then we have a series that's going to be called Elementals The Silver City.
Okay, so the Battle of Gods is a movie.
It's a series. Yep, 12 episodes is where we're going.
First series.
Okay. And when are we expecting for it to come out?
So we have some other things going on in the background right now. It's just tying up some loose ends before we know if we're going to be the ones to take it or if it's going to be moving into somebody else's hands. Like, we're 100% going to still be the cast, still be the director, the writer. It's just on whether or not who is going to be the production company to take care of it and do the filming. But as of right now, our goal is to film end of February is when we'll be filming. We're working on a gala, which will have that date's release. It's going to be called the Gala of the Gods. If you ever seen like the Met Gala, or if you're a big Marvel fan like I am, it's one called the Hellfire Gala. It's very similar to that. We're going to be hosting, everyone's dressing up as gods. The cast is going to be there as their gods, and just really putting on a show, getting to see these characters not only on the screen but bringing it to life. As a kid, that was always a big thing for me, being like, oh, I would want to meet those people in real life. I want to see those characters, be around them. So we're bringing that to reality, just rocking around to events, showing the Comic-Cons, all stuff like that.
Okay. So before I wrap up this interview, I would like you guys' opinions, real honest opinions.
Okay.
Atlanta, Augusta, Atlanta. How do y'all see
the entertainment business, like, because y'all came from two different worlds. You started in high school, and then you was in high school, but she had like the practice, the background, and everything. And then you see from Atlanta's viewpoint, like, you know, everybody's networking and working together. Wow, Augusta, it's like it's hard to get people. So how is y'all's viewpoint of like getting people together and working together for the entertainment business wise?
For me, I think one comes just from the fact of being a director and executive producer is you have to build those connections. You have to know who to talk to. Even casting wise, like moving from actor to casting director, you see the difference. And one of the biggest things I saw in the difference between Augusta and Atlanta is in Atlanta, everyone is willing to put their best foot forward and do whatever it takes to get their name out there. And especially like working together, like, you know, I brought this to him, like I said, like she said, it was no script, no character name, no nothing. And it was just like, okay, I believe in you, let's go for it. While in Augusta, you know, people talk behind your back. They do, like, if we're gonna be honest about it, or you could tell people you're doing something, but while they're in your face saying like, oh yeah, you know, I believe in you, they behind their back, holding their breath. And one of the biggest things I believe in is if you're gonna hold your breath waiting for me to fail, I'm gonna let you choke. Like, I mean, like I said, growing up, that's like people don't support, people don't like, and if they do want to do it, it all at the end of the day comes down to how much money would I make. And sometimes, like a lot of projects, especially in the film industry, it starts off without opinion.
Right.
Without opinion, everyone comes in and be like, you know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. We bargain, we share our talents, and we're like, okay, well, if you need somebody to come in there and sing, and I need somebody to come in there and write, you write it, I sing it, we share it. While in Augusta, it's like, oh, I'm gonna sing it if you pay me to go in there and perform it. While that lets you miss out on major opportunities. Like I said, like we reached out to several people. It's like, you know, they came, auditioned, even when it was like, oh, well, you know, we don't know where it's going, what's gonna happen. They still came audition, and even though they didn't get the role, it's like, oh, let us know when a new role come out. Let us know when something else happens to be a part of it. You just don't really get that down here in Augusta.
I agree. It's like that big networking thing in Atlanta. Like, everybody wants to get their name out there, so everybody's very willing to be like, hey, my name is Deanna. How are you? What do you do? Da-da-da. Oh, you're a singer? Baby, I'm a dancer. Come on, we can do this. And it's like, I don't know. Having this be my first time in Augusta, I don't really know that, like, the full difference. But I will say, like, in Atlanta, everybody is so come to me. Come to me. Help me help you. It's very a help me help you type of thing. And I will say it helps you learn how to deal with certain people, like certain kinds of people. Yes, like a lot of different personalities, especially being in this industry. Because I would say it's a lot of times people will come to you as one thing and then they'll leave you as something else. And it's like, okay, I understand this is still a business, it's a job. I gotta compose myself long enough to work with you. And that's it.
And that's what it's like I said, like, you know, we could work together, but we can't hang together.
Right.
And it's very much, and then like they look at us and be like I'm 21, Deanna's 21. Like, you know, they're young, like, can they handle this? Can they do it? Like, we had people we don't work with, went through, changed, even not just on this project, but on the projects, like, you know, well, you're a little too young to be doing this. And that's the one thing I don't care what your age is. If you willing to study, if you willing to work, if you willing to practice, you could do anything. And that's really what we build. Like I tell her all the time, it's like, you know, talk to the photographer and be like, well, I want these angles and I want to do this because I worked as a photographer first. I worked background, I worked working stage hand, just making sure you see everything, because you watching it, it's like, oh, well, you know, this isn't good enough, this wasn't right. There's a lot of other things that happen in the background, a lot of stuff that you don't always get to see. Sometimes people are inexperienced and don't know what they're doing. And one of the big thing I believe is the difference between criticism and constructive criticism. If you could come and be like, okay, this isn't right, and then say, because of this, that's fine. It's always good. Like, we want to get better.
Right.
But to come and be like, you know, this just isn't good enough. Right. Well, why isn't it good enough? What would you have done? What would you have changed? And it's never that. It's just like, it's not good enough. And I feel like you never supposed to let, because someone come and say it's not good enough, don't let that stop you. If you feel like it was good, keep going.
Keep going, because you'll find people that's gonna help you and direct you back on that track and be like, this is how you do it. And that's all we need as a culture, guidance, mentoring. Like, that's important. Like, don't give up. If you have a dream, keep on. Hold it on to it. Like, I've been having this dream, letting go a little bit, but I'm keeping on though.
And I will say, my great granddaddy, he was very big on making sure I knew if you don't do the dream that God gave you, God will give it to somebody else.
Amen.
If you don't take it, he'll give it away.
Right. So keep y'all dreams intact. Make sure you guys go follow them. Where's your social media?
I am Deanna Elise.
Period. And you?
Just JaQuan, but we also have a show Instagram. It's called The Elemental Universe.
Make sure you go follow them right now and be prepared to see this Battle of God series coming soon. Is that it? Period. Say bye. Thank y'all so much.